Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2, where you join us during the reign of King Iliad the Hunter, who has had a bit of a more difficult time than I feared he might. He came very close to dying from a case of dysentery, and the only way we could sort it out was by cutting out his eye, which doesn't make a huge amount of sense to me, but that's how it goes, and it did seem to sort things out. I do have a very, very good doctor, so you know what? Let's just say that's absolutely fine. I've been left scarred, I'm a crusader, I am a hunter. I've had a good life so far. This is a good leader. This is a good character overall. I'd say, yeah, Diplomacy 9, Martial 15, Stewardship 12, and Learning 14. That's a good guy. We got ourselves a good king here, and he's only 30. If we can avoid actually getting seriously sick, he can actually lead Cornwall to great things yet. But we have problems. And the biggest problem of all is England. England that we are not in a non-aggression pact with. England, whose little vassal counts in Welsh territory that should rightfully be mine, have most definitely been showing an interest in invading. England, who are even now in the process of attacking Scotland in order to put some form of puppet princess onto the throne, presumably one who will be very appreciative to England and nice and easy to control. So yes indeed, the King of England heading in, pushing Princess Mirren's claim on Scotland. And England, who are also very, very worryingly indeed, actually allied with France. Thankfully, France are busy. France are actually busy down in Spain because the actual Catholic Spanish kingdom has done a terrible, terrible job with the Reconquista. So basically France has gone down to go and do it for them. And right now is indeed attacking, the Duchy of Valencia around here. So basically France is just helping itself to chunks of Spain because the Catholic kings of Spain couldn't do it themselves. So I need to make some changes because I'm worried that sooner or later me and England are going to come to blows. And if we do, and if even worse France gets involved, I will not be able to defend myself. However, I do have one advantage. England is still very much screwed over by the fact that their king has only got 2 territories in his personal domain because he just doesn't have the authority to actually go reclaiming lands off anyone else. So the amount of troops he can personally command is a lot lower than it should be. Only 6,500 in total, 2,000 himself and 4,000 from vassals plus a very small amount of retinue. I can already field 6,200. So, if I could just pick, say, a good area to hold in, like, for example, if I were to draw up all my army in Gwent, say, Gwent would be an actual great location to hold out, because it doesn't matter whether you're coming from Powys or from Gloucester or from Hereford, Gwent is well protected by rivers, so I'd get the combat bonus, so as a result, I'd probably be able to defeat the entire English army, even if it all came at me at once. But I still need to make sure I'm ready for that eventuality. Couple of ways we need to do that. Right now, we're lacking in commanders. In fact, I'm not sure we've even got a single commander in the Empire right now. No, I could have 6 commanders. I don't have any at all. Now, John might not do a terrible job helping out with the army, especially as he's actually got, yes, pursuit plus 20%. Putting him on one of the flanks wouldn't be a terrible idea. However, I need some good, strong military leaders. And actually, that reminds me, something I noticed after the end of last time. Right now, Howl, the, slightly satanic mad person, is actually our marshal. He shouldn't be anymore, because a new kid has come through. Sulphur, one of the Hellfire children, has come of age. And at the age of 16, he's actually already up to 18 on the old marshal. A brilliant strategist, brawny, and a defender. So potentially, very, very useful indeed. So as a starting point, let's just actually move him over to the actual council there. So congratulations, welcome to the council, Sulphur. Do we still have a risk of revolt? No, we do not. In which case, you just focus on training troops. Next up, time to attract some new people to court to basically act as my own new commanders. In fact, potentially, as well as being commanders, they could potentially be the new marshal too. Oh yes, this guy will do very, very nicely indeed. 32, brilliant strategist, inspiring leader, also brave, welcome aboard. And someone else very, very useful indeed, a Marshal of Rossello, wherever that exactly is. You can come aboard too. an aggressive leader, damage plus 10%, but defense down. Pursuiters up, however, potentially a useful flanker. And speaking of flanking, you, my good man, will do as well. A nice Russian spy master, albeit only with intrigue of 11. Welcome aboard, because you, yes, a flanker and a brilliant strategist. You definitely have a role on the flanks of my armies. Welcome aboard. So, 3 new strong commanders and potentially marshals as well coming into the Empire. Very, very useful indeed. Next up, I think I know what one of the weak points of England is, and something I've been needing to deal with for some time. Mercia. Mercia is too big and too powerful. Now, in some ways, that works to my advantage, because if Mercia is big and powerful, it acts as a counterbalance against the King of England. It kind of means the King of England can't do much, because Mercia is so strong that it could slap down the King if he tries to do anything of interest. But Mercia being so strong right on my Welsh border concerns me. I would like to slightly weaken Mercia so that I might have a chance of actually seizing the Welsh border territories back. And I think the way to do that is potentially to weaken the relationship between Duke Ossulf and his vassals, because plenty of his vassals already don't like him. So I'm going to move my actual Chancellor, who is already, I believe, doing precisely what I need him to do, over to Warwick. And yes, indeed, he is sowing dissent right now. He's got a decent enough chance occasionally of actually sowing dissent and thus lowering the relationship between this guy and his vassals. If I could just cause a couple of those vassals to rise up, have a couple of little wars of independence, put some pressure on him, that'd work for me. That'd be very, very useful indeed. So let's see if we can just slightly weaken Mercia a little bit. And finally, I need to make some new friends, and I think my best candidates are these guys over here. Norway and Sweden are at the moment friends, but both of them are pretty feeble in terms of the armies they can actually field. So yeah, King of Sweden can only actually put 1,600 men on the field, and the King of Norway barely 1,000. Denmark, however, is not doing so bad. I've discussed them before, and the new king has finally come of age. The old king having presumably passed away. I'm going to assume everything's legitimate there. He's 33. He can get himself almost 5,000 troops on the field. And actually, I think he's going to have a good chance to expand, because he keeps going into holy wars with, the Pomerania territory over here. And as a result, Denmark has a chance to grow. And they seem to also be friends with Poland, who otherwise haven't done a huge amount so far. So yeah, I think me and him could potentially be very, very good friends indeed. Let's see what I can potentially arrange. Oh, well, this is just actually flipping perfect. So, Prince Valentin, who I assume is your son. Hang on, is Valentin your son? Yeah, Valentin is your youngest son. You would actually be willing to marry him matrilineally to one of my 2 useful children here. So do you want Andromache or do you want Helen? Let's go for Andromache, who, ooh, I approve of that. Andromache has actually got martial, Helen does not. Helen's got more of the intrigue. Ooh, appropriate to the Homeric stories. Right, so, yes, we've got Princess Andromache. He'd actually be willing to sign off one of his sons matrilineally. Admittedly, Denmark is in elective, not primogeniture, so there's no reason to believe this guy is going to become king, but having a whole bunch of children of my dynasty being produced who might well go on to have some good claims in future, or maybe even if they're very, very lucky, potentially get elected into a position somewhere in Denmark, that could be very, very useful indeed. Yes, so we've got ourselves a non-aggression pact with the king and with the prince. Send that over. Good. We've actually got ourselves a friend. And if we're very, very lucky indeed, those guys might go on to, become my allies. It would be nice to have an ally with another 5,000 troops. And these guys don't seem to cause trouble for the most part. All they want to do is attack the Pomerians over here. So if they ask me for help with that, I'll send a couple of men. Sure, why not? So, whole bunch of messages sent around the world. Time to get time ticking along here, because I need some new people in the court. I need for that betrothal to be confirmed. There we go. Betrothal has been confirmed. Now, are me and you immediately in that lovely non-aggression pact? Because we should be. Yes, that's already true. Great. And in come all of the new commanders I've invited to my territory. So you guys will do an excellent job leading my armies. And presumably they're bringing their wives along too. Looks like it. That's fine. It means I don't have to bother actually arranging wives for them myself. And absolutely marvellous, Denmark wants to jump straight into a proper alliance. Good. We have the same interests, he likes me, and as a result, he's just willing to accept that. This is marvellous right here. And one very important thing I need to get working on now, it's finally time for my own retinue, the final form of army we have not seen yet. A standing army. I'm up to 610 retinue cap, which means I should have available to me, yes, a choice of 2 different types of standing army I can actually raise. I need to pay a little bit of money up front just to get them going, and then after that point I basically just need to spend money reinforcing them per month. The actual retinue starts very small, then it needs to build up, so it will be expensive. But once it's built up, it basically just stands there. It can permanently be there. I don't need to break them down to declare war, so I can always have an army standing by. It's a good emergency backup. It's an extra, yeah, if I go for these guys, like an extra 600 odd troops, which is not insignificant at all. Very useful for just putting down little revolts or just defending the homeland while my main army goes off elsewhere. And they're completely free. Once you've actually paid to recruit them, they cost no maintenance. So, my choices are 200 archers and also 50 heavy cavalry. And yeah, thanks to various cultural bonuses, what do I get? Heavy infantry plus 10%, archers plus 20%, archers defense plus 10%. I think that's because I get like Welsh longbowmen or something. Alternatively, go for the light guys. Yeah, light infantry, morale and defense 20%, archer attack 20%, archer defense 10%. I'll go for this just because I get a lot more men. And also, yeah, this one just seems a little bit higher in terms of the cap. So, create this here retinue. Absolutely marvellous. And those guys will now basically just start being created. So, I gain an extra 14 soldiers every month, because that is 2.5% of the retinue reinforcing per month. So it's going to take a while for that to do much, because right now it's literally 1 archer just standing in Cornwall. Actually, is he holding a... He is holding a bow! Oh, that's such nice attention to detail. Well done, game. But I also need to save up some money, because what I need to do is create the actual... Hang on. Not that one. The kingdom. I can just basically skip the duchy and just go straight up to the kingdom. Though I could afford the duchy immediately. That would be a lot cheaper. That'd be very, very cheap indeed. But then I'd have to just buy the kingdom anyway. Though actually, if I just buy the... That's really cheap. Just 166. And by holding the duchy, I would still actually have the right to just go to war. No, just wait. Let's just wait for the kingdom. Given, yeah, the duchy and the kingdom of Brittany are actually literally exactly the same territory. And the game's not flagging there's any reason why I couldn't just actually create the kingdom and skip the duchy entirely. Once I've done that, I have the de jure claims on these 2 territories. Problem. This little Breton liberation army is really strong. 5,000 troops. I can beat it, but it will damage me. And that might leave me vulnerable. Which is why I'm very glad I've got some Danish friends over here who might be able to offer some assistance if it comes to that. So, let's save up some money and maybe float a bit of extra money on top. Because I keep saying, oh, make sure you're actually floating enough money to buy mercenaries. Then I never flipping do. And confirmation as well, of course. We've got the alliance with Denmark. Nice. Honestly, I think that's a big win for me. Oh, and this is not good news at all. So my Chancellor had a 32% chance of sowing dissent inside Mercia and a 4% chance of being caught. He was immediately caught. So this is not good. I've lost a bit of prestige, and for 2 years he's really, really furious about me. And also, this is just straight up slightly humiliating. The Mayor of Stafford has imprisoned this guy. He's now... Right. Luckily a regent is just kind of standing in his place at the minute, so... Any chance I can actually buy him out? Oh, ooh. Hang on. I mean, if you would just decide to execute him, that could work. Or maybe he'll get sick in prison. Because, yeah, the sooner he dies, the sooner I get Glamorgan back. Honestly, this is no bad... Yeah, keep him. Why don't you just flipping... Oh, yeah, health -1 in prison. Yeah, have a nice little time in prison, because I'm afraid I'm not really interested in getting you out. Sorry. Ah, yes, I remembered one other thing I checked and therefore wanted to change. So, I did say previously, in fact, I did actually set King Iliad the Hunter. He is actually currently the tutor for both Priam and Hellfire, two potential kings of the future. However, I did actually go and check after last episode. Yeah, you don't actually get special events as king just for any children that you're tutoring. That's only if it's your own biological children. Instead, the best thing I can do for them is basically assign them a tutor who's just got the highest stats going across the board. So the best person I could find was actually a, bishop I don't really pay much attention to, who's got himself 21 in learning, 12 in martial, 11 in stewardship, and also the diligent trait, which I believe makes him a decent educator. So I'm actually going to set him as the educator of both Priam and Hellfire, and we'll see how they turn out. I know I could give them to my court physician, by the way, and technically he's got spectacular stats across the board, but he's also Serbian, so there's a chance as a result of his education they'd actually become culturally Serbian. The priest, however, is quite good, because he's actually still Breton. Though he's also not showing up here. Wait, can people other than King only have one ward at a time? Ah, this guy'll do. We've got a mayor who's got some very good skills, together with being charitable and patient. He's slightly possessed by Satan, but that's fine, because so is Hellfire's mother. So, quite frankly, it would be weird if Hellfire wasn't being educated by someone who's possessed by Satan. Also, the guy who's possessed by Satan wishes to become a paragon of virtue. I'm getting mixed messages from you, my good man. In fact, actually, the fact that Geralt of Rivia is currently in prison kind of does me a favour. Because, yeah, it means while he's in prison, he doesn't need to be given a council position. Screw that guy. So instead, we can actually have... Oh, it's the Satanic Mayor again. He's actually the most qualified person for the job. Great. So, you have fun doing that. I'm actually going to send you to do exactly the same thing. Please do it better. Also, this is slightly worrying. So, Duke Assolf, the man I'm trying to actually sabotage and undermine, his heir is the king. If the King of England inherits the Duchy of Mercia, he'll get a whole bunch of, controlled territory in his personal domain. That cannot be allowed to happen. You, my good man, how would you like a lovely wife? Here we go. Someone who I don't particularly need in court. She's 24. Her stats are absolutely terrible. She's not got anything good she's going to pass on at all. She actively wants to get married. So... Isabel, who at some point I think just kind of wandered into court. She's got a couple of claims that are not actually very good or useful to me at all. So how about you two get married right now and start producing children in a flipping hurry, because I do not want that territory accidentally slipping back into the king's control. Though then again, if I was to actually put one of my own people who's a bit closer... No, none of these marriages gets me a non-aggression pact. Fine, just you then, just send her over, let's get him producing children. Oh, and double good news, my wife is pregnant once again, and the guys who run this territory have just naffed off to take part in a holy war. Good. So they've just basically naffed off somewhere. That works for me. Hopefully they'll actually get themselves a little bit weakened, and... Oh! Margaret! Oh, Margaret. Margaret actually flipping died. Oh, Margaret. I'm so sorry for everything that your family suffered, for the fact that Maradud... Okay, at least somebody, one of Margaret's children, has to, at some point, potentially have something good done to them. Alright, keep an eye on this family line, because one of them is going to go far. Ah, and this is an important one. Prince Achilleus, whose starting stats at the age of 6 are not terrible. All things considered, he's got himself, a decent marshal. You know what, I'm just going to put him over to Thrift, because that's generally a pretty good one. Curious especially seems pretty darn decent. So, we'll give him that, we'll see what direction he goes in. And in fact, as he's my own son, I am going to manage this personally. Alright, I'm going to keep an eye on Prince Achilleus myself. And looks like we've got trouble up in Scotland. I'm guessing your war with England isn't exactly going spectacularly, oh dear. So you've also got a rebellion in your hands, and one of your earls is causing trouble, and England's invading and doing very, very well indeed. Right, so King Wildeve the Drunkard is not going to be around for too much longer. So, how are you doing, Queen O? Queen Luna the Unfaithful. You know what? I can't blame you, to be honest, and how many people are going to keep reading my mail? Well, no offense, I've got a lot of children at court right now. Now, I was just arranging a couple of marriages for some minor members of court when something caught my eye. The King of Norway is currently single. Alright, this strikes me as something potentially very, very useful indeed. So, the King of Norway, whose troops are recovering, I think he must have been in a recent war, why his numbers were so low earlier. Who could I potentially send over there? Sadly, no one is of the right age, where if I sent them over there, they would actually become, a non-aggression pact for me. Wouldn't work out, tragically. The only way I could get a non-aggression pact and an alliance was by committing Helen to marrying one of the princes of Norway. She's a bit young for that. She might well prove to be more useful doing something else. So, let's hold off for now. Oh, and would you look at this? I think that this guy right here is having his arse handed to him at this exact moment in time over in whatever religious war he's decided to go and get himself embroiled in. That's just flippin' marvellous. And I've got a message from my Society of Mad Scientists. So Initiate Waldemar is a greedy idiot who deserves none of the riches in his possession. What do you say, brother? Should we raid his laboratory and claim that which is ours? So a neophyte has sent me that. And basically he is going to bring me to a laboratory. I'm supposed to steal or destroy his stuff. Now, I'm not sure what's going to calculate my chances of success, but my intrigue is appalling. So I've decided I'm going to say no, because I feel like I'm not the sneaking kind of guy. No, that's just a terrible idea. Though I think I have at this point, yes. I've got enough knowledge to actually do some scrying. Okay, let's perform a quick scrying here. Let's see what this actually does. So I place my hands on the sides of the bowl, and the surface of the water is perfectly still. It only takes a few moments before patterns begin to appear in the reflection, mirror images of the world, the past, and the future. I take a deep breath to attune myself to what I'm looking for. I want to know about battles to come. I want to know where my relationships will lead. I want to know what will happen to me as king. Alright, I'm getting no help from the tooltips as to what any of this means, so I want to know what's going to happen to me as king. And what does the water say 4 or 5 days later? They are just lines, or are they? Yes, I see a forest, a vast forest. This is a bad omen. Oh dear. So basically, I've just managed to screw myself over. This isn't really about knowing what's going to happen in the future, because I control my own destiny. It's more about me seeing omens good or bad. So as a result, I've actually managed to unsettle myself and actually make myself bloody worse. Which is not good. And how long is that going to last? I don't know. I really hope that's not going to last forever. Right, well I think this is a perfect opportunity to potentially attack this guy. He's down to 3,000 troops, and I believe those troops are currently far away from home trying to deal with some land down here. So this is just the right moment. Right, let's get this set up here. The Kingdom of Brittany, which I'm allowed to actually create right now. So create that for, 328 gold and 200 piety. Boom! I am now the King of the Britons. Marvellous. I've gained the Kingdom of Brittany. This is not what I expected. I guess I was wrong about that. Ah! Okay, so if you get an unsettling vision, if you do something good, then as a result of that, you prove the vision wrong, and I have basically learnt something. Marvellous. So I actually get learning +1 for the next, 7 or so years. Great! And as a result of now owning this kingdom, I immediately gain de jure claims on both of these territories, and my council are 100% behind this, because this is a legitimate claim of mine. Good, 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 and more good, I say. So, can I actually attack both of these at once? No. Sadly, it does not appear so. Well, in that case, which of these is the bigger or nastier in terms of how big the levy is? Because obviously you want to take out the bigger one first. So, the levy there, 1,300 odd. Levy here, Only 800 odd, fine. So, go for the capital first. You, my good man, we're going to war because I want this territory right here. Thank you very, very much indeed. And potentially, the Danish might be willing to get involved, but honestly, I'm not really going to actually ask them to do it. It's fine. So, send that, and we are now at war. We can call in the allies. I'm not going to do it. Denmark doesn't need to march all the way over here. I can handle this by myself. Although here's something interesting. I should nominate successors for these titles, Kingdom of Brittany. Wait, how does Brittany work exactly? No, Brittany is exactly the same thing, because I just created the kingdom, so that's still actually agnatic, cognatic, tanistry. So presumably it's going to the same guy for the time being. Ah, it's the same system, but because it's a different kingdom... Ah, no, I understand. Because tanistry works at a kingdom level. So the royal laws of Cornwall say that basically, yeah, anyone up to 2 levels below you gets a vote. So I get a vote, and my dukes get a vote, and my vassal counts get a vote. But that's only for the Kingdom of Cornwall. The Kingdom of Brittany, the king gets a vote, and the duke gets a vote, and the vassals get a vote. So this one should be fairly easy to basically just keep hold of. As long as I always get a vote, which I always will... Even if I palm this off on someone else, but if I palm this off on someone else and they themselves take vassals, those vassals will get a vote. Well, for the time being, I am going to nominate Priam, just as before, because if at all possible, I would like these 2 kingdoms to go to the same guy. No reason to split it up. Although I'm starting to see why we've got a problem here. Potentially, if the vassals and the dukes insist on voting in different ways, my kingdoms could end up going in different directions. Just like flipping Norway and England did. Right, I should probably try and make sure that Brittany, as the smaller kingdom, though actually it's not going to be for long, like momentarily, Brittany will be the larger kingdom. So if I take these 2 bits of land right here, Brittany will have 6 bits of land. Cornwall's only got 2 and Wales have only got 3. Oh, this could cause trouble down the line. Right, I'm starting to see the advantage of maybe switching over to primogeniture at some point. Because, yeah, it will at the bare minimum make sure that the kingdom doesn't accidentally get voted into small pieces. And this is very, very useful indeed. On the military tab, there is actually the ability to call my allies to war. It tells you how likely they are to accept and how many men they would bring to bear. Honestly, guys, it's cool. I think we got this. So, the main forces can basically just start chilling out over here. These forces are decent forces themselves, and you 2 guys start heading in this direction too. We do not call the boats up just yet, because there's no reason to. I need to actually form up the armies before I sign the commanders, however. What have we got over here? Tiny army, because yeah, most of their army is currently stuck abroad. We've got 2,600 odd present and correct already. Should I move in or should I wait? How much do you actually have available to you? 2,900. Honestly, I should probably wait. But then again, I can be pretty confident that I know where these guys are. Which is, these guys have naffed off somewhere else. So, let's start actually assigning our commanders. So we've actually got a specialist flanker, so he goes on one side. And an aggressive leader who also gets bonus pursuit. He goes on the other flank. And sorry, Iliad, you're not actually leading this one, because we've got a very, very good commander who's an inspiring leader who can handle the front. Right there, marvellous. Ah, but this is good. In the event that that army does have to march home, there is a major river between this territory and the one directly to the south of it. And that would actually impose significant combat penalties. Right. That means it's safe for this army to start moving. I need 2,867 men transported. Fine. Raise the local fleet levies. How much is that going to move? That's only going to move 1,100. Raise your local fleet levies as well, please. That should be, together, enough. So, let's just keep time ticking along here, but no desperate rush. These fleets now merge. They can hold 2,400 men. That's... oh, bloody hell. Right, I need just slightly more, just a tiny, tiny bit more. Deploy some boats from Brittany itself. So, this place is now under siege. And holding this, that's the crucial bit. Boats now present and correct, that's definitely enough boats. This is going to be flipping expensive, mind, but it'll do. Now get that army into Lyon as an emergency, just in case they've actually got reinforcements powering north, or this guy plans to... Oh, hello? Who exactly are you actually working for, my good man? You are the Chancellor of... Ah! You're the Chancellor of this guy. Honestly, I think he's got bigger problems. And also the White Stag is... We've already technically found the White Stag, but go on. Technically, we are a White Stag hunter. We may as well go and see if we can pick up again. Like, after we found it the first time, maybe that means I'm predestined to actually find it again. And even better, I've got... Oh, another son. I've got another son. Beautiful. So obviously, my first son was called Achilles. My second son shall be Hector. Right, looks like you're heading in this direction for the time being, so we'll just basically intercept you. And, oh, hang on. My wife Agnes asked me if I'm having an affair with useless Colonel. I don't think I am, but apparently so. Her stony expression does not reveal whether she knows or is only guessing. Right, apparently me and useless wasn't only a one-time thing. Apparently, I've just been having an affair with my cousin for the past few years. No one ever asked me about this. I don't approve of this, but apparently this is just a thing. Okay. What am I going to flipping do right now? So, my affair with Eustace is ended. I break up with Eustace. I never got together with her. Oh, bloody hell. Agnes is going to be upset about this. Admit it, but refuse to break up with Useless? She might overreact. Honestly, that wouldn't be overreacting. I'm having a long-term running sexual affair with my own biological cousin. Or lie to her face. No. Tearfully confess, ask forgiveness. Let's get this useless business just out of the flipping way. Because I don't know what's going on here, but it seems like a bad idea. Right, you're going over there. Get the fleet back to port. We need to get reinforcements over here. Actually, no, we don't. I need these reinforcements to stay over here. Just on the off chance there's a counterattack that comes by boat. Like, yeah, these forces together should be more than enough to handle this at this point. So you guys, I'm just going to break you up in a minute just to save the money. Because we're losing a lot of money. Those boats are expensive. Right, disband those units. Hopefully that means we'll stop losing money at this point. You head in this direction, see if you can just catch these guys out of position. Looks like they're not actually fleeing at the time being. This works for me. So get in there and just kind of win a fun little battle against them just to murder them. Lovely, nice, easy victory. So, my starting point here is, yeah, I've actually got both of these places being besieged simultaneously. That actually works for me pretty nicely, but I need to keep an eye on this. If any actual, people show up, I need to be ready to see them off. You guys, by the way, may as well be merged together. 1,300. Actually, that's not going to be enough if their army of 3,000 rocks up right now. I don't know where that army actually is. They've got 3,000 guys somewhere. I just do not know where. Also, I could, if I wish to, create the duchy underneath the kingdom, but honestly, I don't see what the point of that is, so I'm probably just going to leave it be. Meanwhile, back in Cornwall, where the important stuff is happening, I'm going to try and find the White Stag again. Alright? I'm going to find it. I found it once before. It is my destiny to catch that stag. Alright, I'm going to bring it down, and I shall be the greatest hunter in all of history. Oh, hello. We've got 6 galleys of this guy right here. Now, 6 galleys isn't going to hold much, so I don't need to be too worried yet. There might be some troops there, but I'm not sure there's any way of actually seeing what's inside them. They've pulled into port. Keep a very, very close eye on this. There's 3 guys over here. They could be coming by land, or... Hello, we've actually run into someone else seeking the White Stag too. His lack of success thus far seems to match yours. He invites you to talk and share experiences. I've literally already found the White Stag, alright? It appeared to me in a vision. Seriously, it's fine. And a courtier named Beltram appears at the court, or it's better to hunt alone. No, why not? Let's invite this guy. We can kick him out later if I need to. Beltram has appeared at my court. Who are you exactly? Oh, blimey. He's really good. He's 36, so a bit old, but brilliant strategist. He's strong. He is a hunter, which is great. He's honest. He's chaste. He's brave. Oh my. Right, you're getting married. Good news. I don't want to say you're getting married. There's not actually that many people for you to get married 2, unfortunately. For some reason, despite the fact you are quite the catch, my good man, no one seems actually interested. That's a shame. Right, well, in that case, I'm marrying you to one of mine. Here we go. Drew. Potentially a spy master of the future, up to 20. She could do with potentially producing some children for the dynasty. So, let's get you matrilineal married up. That would be flippin' perfect. So you two, just start producing some children, because he is strong, and just generally, he's a really good guy. In fact, actually, he should probably be... Yeah, he should almost certainly be invited to be handling my affairs on the council. So far, bad news, we've actually got quite a few very, very talented individuals right now. Though actually as a hunter, he gets pursuit plus 20%. And he does have personal combat benefits. Ooh. How would you fancy being a commander, actually? I think you could potentially be a very good commander. And there is also a jihad for Anatolia, might represent some trouble for the Byzantines, not really my trouble yet, however. And I've returned to my court. The hunt for the elusive white beast seems fruitless. There are many more things out there in the wild. Maybe next time you'll catch your prey. I will not give up. And on the plus side, I made a good friend. A very, very useful friend indeed. So, that is certainly not the worst thing in the world. And why are you no longer court chaplain? Did you just die? Is that why? Yes, I'm guessing you just died. Right, well, we've actually got ourselves a very, very good person here. He's already a bit stressed, so hopefully this will actually help him out. There you go, my good man. Now get on with telling the Pope what a good egg I am. And rather conveniently, this guy's armies have now fallen down to 1,700 odd. So I'm guessing he's still fighting his little holy war down here, which is probably not going desperately, no. He went to basically take out King Fruella the Oppressor, and it's very much going in favour of Fruella the Oppressor. So, dear oh flipping dear, Fruella the Oppressor has actually managed to absolutely kick your ass. Oh, we've got ourselves what looks like 19 galleys on the move. Right, watch out. That is presumably whatever survives of their army here. We're making progress, but we haven't actually beaten their army in a major fight yet. Though, we should be able to. Whatever happens at this point, we should actually be able to pull that off. I don't know where their army is. There could still be, yeah, if there's 1,700 of them. If they come over here, they can probably kick the ass of these guys and then actually cause trouble for Cornwall, which could be annoying. But look, they were heading in this direction. Like they were making for land over here. So, interesting. Not quite sure where you're planning to go. And progress in this war is a little bit on the slow side. I need to kick the arse of the army, otherwise I'm going to need to pretty much occupy their entire bloody territory. Still, without the boats out, we are still making money, albeit very slowly. Oh, and I've got a horrible feeling that something that we've been expecting for some time has finally happened. Alan has died a natural death at the age of 73. A moment's silence for Alan, please. Alan has been with us pretty much since the beginning. He was an exceptional spy master. He caught so many flipping plots. He was only involved in a handful himself, but he never turned on me, despite all his intrigue, and despite the fact that he served under many a gullible fool. He never turned on his king. He was a truly great man, and I'm glad that he got to see his own son crowned king. But I believe we actually have an excellent replacement in mind. Yes, indeed, Drew, who is, well, I'm a little bit concerned about having an ambitious spy master. That doesn't seem like a great idea, to be honest. But with an intrigue skill of 20, yeah, she seems like a good candidate. Plus, she is a pragmatic voter and seems fond of me, and will be even more fond as time goes by. And yes, indeed, of course, I get like twice as many options because I took the legalism and tolerance options that let me appoint women to the spy master if they're part of the dynasty. So, this is all good news. By the way, you're going over to Constantinople to steal their technology, because pretty much that's your only job in life. It's a very, very useful thing for you to do. How did the war in Scotland go, by the way? Is that over at this point? No, actually. It's going very well for England, but it's not quite done. Poor Scotland appears to actually be engaged in 4 wars at once. They're pretty much collapsing. Oh, you poor things. Oh, exactly what I feared might happen is actually happening. right now, there is a not insignificant army that is planning to come ashore. However, because it is actually trying to land into territory I already hold, they are going to suffer from naval landing penalties of like minus 20%. Just in case, I'm going to raise the vassals. I haven't raised the vassals yet, so we do have just a handful more stuff in hand. So, raise the vassal levies, just to be safe. That gets me an extra... yeah, that gets me an extra not nothing. You guys get round over here. You guys get in over here. You guys merge together, please. That's up to 1,500. I believe the most they can possibly be fielding is about 1,700. And actually... oh, Iliad, I don't want you to do this. No. Leave it to your new friend, alright? Leave it to Beltram. He can do this better than you. And we've got reinforcements coming in as well. An extra 81 men, albeit, yeah, low on the old morale. When do you actually land? I don't know, but... oh, they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. Those penalties are unfortunately pretty severe. So their morale is dropping fast, even though the numbers are pretty even. Actually, they're doing alright. One of their wings has collapsed. And at this point, yeah, there we go. There we go. That has pretty much destroyed their army. And that is good news. That's a significant jump in the war score there. And unfortunately, an acquaintance of mine has actually died of gout. That was Margaret's husband. So that generation of the family has now passed on. Rest in peace, you magnificent bastards. You were indeed quite useful. Still, we've managed to take care of that. And that means at this point, I'm pretty sure we can actually tell the vassals to stand down. So the vassals can stand down, and you just come and stand over here in case he comes back or tries doing anything stupid like going into Wales. We can now at this point very comfortably see him off. A couple more territories falling. Yeah, it should take basically no time at all. We are now just basically sieging out all of this. You head down over here. Kick the arse of those guys. There's literally 3 of them. I appreciate that we are crossing a river, but there are 3 of them. I think we can handle it. And in fact, we've managed to get up to 100% already. So whatever is left of this army, screw it. I don't care. Simply enforce the peace. And with that, we have managed to steal that bit of territory off them. Lovely. You guys, please march for friendly territory. You guys should be able to be split up without any problems. Good. Job done there. I'd say that's actually a pretty good result. And at this point, he has actually got himself access to... yeah, he's got about 1,000 guys, but that's now going to start going up. But even then, his domain is only going to yield about 1,000... 1,800 odd total, plus maybe up to 3,000 boosted by... actually, hang on. Does that figure include the bonuses he gets from his ridiculously high marshal? That I do not know. And Sulfur would like to suggest that Hal would be a good actual commander. You know what? I see no reason why not. He's about to flipping die of old age anyway, so no need to annoy the kid that suggested it. So you guys merge together and then immediately disband. No penalties. Good. So now it's just a question of... do I actually have to wait? Yes, I do actually have to wait in order to take the de jure claim, unfortunately. I could actually just go in anyway, but I don't want Truce Breaker. That sounds like a very, very bad thing. Yeah, minus 25 across the board. Not worth it. Is it, however... wait, what? Oh! Right. I think the holy war they just started has just come back to kick him in the arse. Oh, yes. Yeah. I think I could deal with that. So right now they're going to lose even more time and territory and money taking care of that business. How long is it till I can actually attack you, by the way? Yeah, 10 years. Fine, pretty standard. So, August 1146, we can finish taking Brittany. Problem is, my domain size is up to 9 out of 9. Geralt of Rivia is sooner or later going to die. If nothing else, he is... oh, he is severely... oh, he's got cancer! Now, I was about to say yes, but I want to just, qualify that by saying it's not because I feel good about that. It's mainly just because I want his territory back. So, he's in prison. He's severely ill. He's suffering from cancer. He's gone. So, we're going to get Glamorgan back. It's time at that point for us to start thinking about what we're going to do about our new vassal layout. Especially if, yeah, I can't guarantee that my next ruler is going to have a domain as big as 9. That feels pretty big. And there we go. Over an inheritance, there's technically nothing to stop me voting for primogeniture. I'm not going to. Not on this occasion, but it's there. It's an option. If I feel like there's ever a risk that my kingdom is about to start splitting into parts, I can do that. And my army level is up to 7,500. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, this is the point where even if the King of England does start causing trouble for me, I can handle him, but not if France gets involved. Oh, and there's the problem. This relationship between England and France is going to be around for a while, because it appears to be a relationship between Princess Sophie and Prince Eanfrith of England. Now I'm going to guess that's basically the two children who are going to stay very important, because France is, yeah, that's gone over to primogeniture, and I believe England's gone the same way. Yeah, primogeniture. So as a result, those children of the king, even if they don't become kings or queens themselves, will remain closely enough related to the next ruler. There's an excellent chance that those actual alliances and non-aggression pacts might stand. Also, I think the time might have come where I might be able to slightly make amends to Maredudd. Because Rhiannon is Maredudd's, I believe, granddaughter? Yes, there you are. Grandparents, Maredudd. And Rhiannon, though she is very, very good indeed, is currently depressed. Luckily, I have studied science long and hard. And I think I need, hang on, has at least 2 ingredients. Oh, I need to go and find some ingredients. Right, let's go and flipping find some ingredients. Why can't I find ingredients? Has a vassal with the apprentice minor title. Ah, I need to actually appoint an apprentice, fine. And I think I might just have found a use for insult as well. She's basically useless, though yeah, she's actually getting pregnant by the guy I got her married to, which is marvellous, but she's very, very clever and erudite and diligent. Yes, she'd make an excellent lab partner. So, me and Insult are now heading out to find some ingredients. What do we need to do? We need to know what ingredients we need. We need herbs in the hills, in the forest for the most prized animals, or we'll find useful materials in the marketplace. Okay, so well, I'm a good hunter. I am a very good hunter, so I would say let's go out and see what we can find in the forests. And there we go. We're heading out into the forest, and our combined hunting experience should make this easy. I would say so. I am literally known as the hunter. I have hunting focus on right now. I've got to feel like whatever it is we need to catch, I should be able to catch it. I'd be worried if we can't. And yes, indeed, we've got more trouble from England, more people making claims against me. This guy, who do you work for directly? You work for, the baby Duke of Wessex. Currently age 15. In theory, I could actually head in and... I could head in and put someone a bit more friendly into the territory. Someone who likes me. Someone who's got a good claim. I wonder who does have a good claim. Tragically, every single claimant of the Duchy of Wessex is not willing to move over to my territory. A shame. But if they attack me, they are not going to be able to beat me. Not a flipping chance. And Stronglass says her favourite toy is missing. She won't go to bed without it. I may have thrown it out today when I was tidying up. I could buy her a new one, or I could lose 30 prestige, but she liked me more. I'll just offer to buy her a new one. And unfortunately that was rejected. She's upset I would even suggest such a thing. There is no pleasing this child. As it turns out, she hates me. Also, am I the guardian of Stronglass? Am I? Wait, hang on, am I the default guardian if I don't actually remember to assign one? I possibly am, given no court tutor has ever actually been assigned. Right, let's find someone who's very good just to be a default court tutor, in case I forget. Actually, I've just noticed one thing. One of our kids has just actually come of age, Connor, and he is spectacularly good. Patient, humble, temperate, shrewd, Midas touch, 10, 13, 20, 12 and 10. Connor! My goodness, right, well, you're educating kids for the time being, though actually maybe you're now too important to educate kids. Right, well this is all fascinating. Oh, you magnificent bastard, I like you. I like you a lot. You might just get yourself promoted to Tannists. Right, let's start just very quickly grooming this guy a bit. You know what, screw it, you're designated region. Congratulations, well done. Let's also get you a really sweet wife. One who does not have syphilis. Now, it's important that we get him a good wife, because, yeah, if we are thinking about potentially making him Tannist, this woman could be queen someday, so she's got to have good stats. And perfect world, I wouldn't mind, yeah, bonus to fertility, which would be the yellow stewardship traits. Ah, this woman's really good. Emma, in fact, I've looked at her before. She's shown up previously, but she's 36, so that's definitely not the right thing. Though, yeah, lustful and grey eminence together, that's a lot of bonus fertility. Alright, I think I've got a solution here. So, over here, Paula, fortune builder, bit of extra fertility. Frailty, mildly concerning, tiny bit of health loss, but King John the Fat did live to a ripe old age while still being frail. Bastard I can overlook, doesn't really seem to make a massive deal, to be honest. Ambitious is just a good step up in stats, and she might be queen anyway. Diligent is good. Temperate actually matches him, which is lovely. Brave is positive. And if she does happen to die young, from being a little bit on the frail side, he can remarry. And she has got a very good little sweep of stats there. She's young as well at 18. So, I would say you are going to get yourselves married right now. And of course, Wessex has decided to push its claim. But the chance of them being capable of doing anything with it is... Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Glamorgan has passed into my control. But we've now got problems. We now have some problems, which is... my domain size is now over limits. That is a problem. That will cause inefficient taxation, troop recruitment, and resentment among your... What vassals? The whole point is I've got none of them. But yes, indeed. Also, who's just done something? It's... Right. I don't even know when he arrived. He probably shouldn't be here. I was wondering if he was connected to Maradud there. No, it's a different Maradud. At least I think it's a different Maradud. Is it a different Maradud? I'm pretty sure that's a different Maradud. Oh, flipping heck. People are lining up to join flipping Orange's plot to kill Clarence II. Wait, hang on. Didn't Clarence II... Clarence II's naffed off. He's not even here anymore. He went to go and join the Knights Templar, I think. Although, bafflingly, the Grand Master of the Order he himself joined has signed up to the plot. I don't know why. He just flipping has. Right, whatever this guy's done, apparently it would be righteous, and everyone would vote for it. So, I guess we're putting him in the dungeon for reasons. And now we're going to banish him and seize... Ooh. I'll seize that gold, thank you. I'm not sure what your crime was, but I'm very glad you committed it. Ah, wait. I'm guessing that was a bunch of people who just flowed into my court from Geralt of Rivia's court. So I'm guessing my court is at 75 right now. Bloody hell. Yeah, the entirety of House McCarthage appears to have just moved into my court. So I think we can probably just get rid of them one by one. None of them seem that useful for anything. Okay, I think I've got the court back down to a sensible level, mainly by just banishing forever anyone who was stupid enough to be part of Geralt of Rivia's court, because screw that bastard. Now, it's time to figure out who do I love enough to potentially make them a vassal. And what do I want to... Oh, bloody hell, Scotland is just on fire right now, isn't it? Well, just looking at the people who like me right now, Connor is certainly of interest. Who actually is... Oh, I just may have accidentally... I didn't actually mean to nominate you, sorry. I'll re-nominate you later, I promise. Oh, you're going to be annoyed that I took that away from you, aren't you? Here we go, let's just use the character thing right here. So yes, let's find people who like me. Dunban likes me. Dunban is, however, not necessarily actually that good. In fact, Dunban's kind of terrible. In fact, I'm not quite sure why you were allowed to actually have an attractive wife, because it's not exactly the most flattering portrait. Maybe he looks better than that on a day-to-day basis. He seems very appreciative, though. Very, very appreciative. Me and Dunban are apparently friends, so that's lovely. Now, Priam, I just need to give him, another year for him to actually come of age. He's got ambitious. And pride is not the worst thing in the world. And conscientious could well become good. Yeah, can develop into diligent or temperate. Both good things. So, we could have a real fight in our hands here. We've actually got some really good young kids coming through. But Connor is looking spectacular, with shrewd and temperate and patient and humble, and he really likes me. I feel like Connor and Priam are probably going to be the guys I can trust to actually be my vassals. And also, of course, I need vassals who have extremely high stats, because they're going to end up on the council. Yeah, that makes sense. Now, Drew the Spymaster. I can see the sense in having you potentially be an actual vassal, but I can also see how giving an ambitious and extremely talented, intriguey, backstabby person land could backfire horribly. And oh no! Oh, Hellfire! Hellfire is a lunatic. Well, that's just a bit of a shame. Who else do we have that's actually any good? We've got Rhiannon, who's pretty decent. And yes, of course, wait, did we ever find those ingredients to actually make a potion for her? Rhiannon, can we... No, apparently I need to actually have at least 2 ingredients. Fine, I might need to get time moving along to actually find them. Sulfur is okay, but I'm not sure he deserves to be rewarded with that. Fine. I think we've made our decision. Connor can most certainly have some land. Because after he's been given the land, he can immediately be appointed steward. Because steward is a fairly low-risk job, to be honest. Like, there's a very small chance that peasants will wound you, but for the most part, it seems to be a pretty safe job. Like, chancellor seems to be a relatively slightly more dangerous job if I send them off to actually, sow dissent or any of that business. Right, and what I want to give him is presumably one of the weaker territories in terms of, low troops. So which of these territories actually produces the smallest levy? The lowest levy we've got is actually Gwyneth. Alright, I think this strikes me as eminently reasonable. I would say that therefore, Connor, you can have Gwyneth. And potentially, there's a very good chance you might also be nominated as the next Tannist. So potentially at that point, Gwyneth will just come straight back to us. But we do actually need to have a couple of vassals floating around. So I'd say it's time to hand over some territory. Connor, congratulations. You are getting yourself Gwyneth. And immediately afterwards, Connor, who would apparently also be a loyalist, is going straight on the council and going to immediately focus on collecting taxes. And oh, well, this is interesting. Apparently, someone has actually changed their mind about marrying this guy. Okay. Hang on, he was a really good catch, are you crazy? Alright, fine. Oh, I think I've realised what I've just done there. I should have actually, let the wedding finish before appointing him, because now, technically, he wanted to handle his own marriage. So now the only way I can get him married is by ordering him to marry someone within the courts. Right, well, that's a bit of a mistake. Who's actually left within the court? Because... actually, Rhiannon wouldn't be that bad. She's 25, though. 25, greedy. Okay. She wouldn't be terrible, mind. I mean, she's got a good selection of perks, and that would make it up to Maradud. If I could actually sort out the depression of his granddaughter, and potentially line her up to potentially be queen in future, that could potentially sort things out for good. Still, best let time tick along, because I think I need to go and get those ingredients before I can actually do that. Also, this is amazing. Names I introduced into the family are being recycled. So, Insult, who I married off to one of my commanders, just because, they both didn't really have anyone else to marry, they've actually now started calling their own children useless. You know what? You go for it. And there we go. We've got ourselves 5 animal parts for the infantry. Good, good, good. And as a result, I've picked up intestines, hooves, gallbladders, snouts, and kidneys. Marvellous. And as for Rhiannon, yes indeed, I can actually now brew her the potion of eudaimonia, and that is going to sort out her depression. There you go. So she will lose that trait, I will lose some knowledge, but it is worth it to me. But, oh, Okay, intriguing. She'll likely accept the brew regardless of the quality. However, I can't quite decide on which ingredients to use. While the intestines could perhaps possess some hidden properties, I wonder what my kinswoman would think. Ooh. Intriguing. And I might just combine the two. I'll just empty the cabinet. Throw in all three! All the ingredients are destroyed and will be removed from the treasury. How about the intestines? That will apparently do something. Ooh, secret mystery effect. Hope it's good. If it's bad, I'll feel kind of bad about this, because this was supposed to be a nice thing to do to make it up to her grandfather. And the light has apparently returned to her eyes. Her opinion has gone up. She loses depressed. And she doesn't seem to have picked up anything else. Good. Well, you know what? I consider this all flipping marvellous. And as for Connor, he's gone straight over to acquiring a title. I've just given you a title. Seriously, chill out. And also, he's gone over to a seduction focus. So, now he wants to hone his skills of attraction for thrills and power. Great. You know what? Let's just get you married. Let's just get you married right now. And I would say Rhiannon would make a great wife. Okay, she's a tiny bit older than you, but fertility up with charismatic negotiator. Brawny gives her health up. She's shrewd, patient. She's a bit on the greedy side, admittedly. And she's honest. Alright, she'll be a great wife for you. Alright, there you flipping go. And you're still part of my, hang on. You are still part of my, yeah, you're part of my dynasty. So don't need to bother with any of the matrilineal, because the children will be part of the dynasty anyway. And apparently there is a level of base reluctance to marrying Rhiannon. And I'm sorry about that. I know you literally just put yourself out there with a seduction focus, but you're getting married, okay? To an extremely talented young lady. So consider yourself bloody lucky. Wait, hang on. I'm just going to double check these guys aren't too closely related. Connor and Rhiannon, hang on. Oh no, totally different sides of the family. So, Connor of Gwynedd is the child of Croesus, who is himself the child of Conan the Defaced. Whereas, Rhiannon comes from a totally different side of the family. She is the daughter of Margaret, daughter of Rio, daughter of Caddoc. They are incredibly distantly related. Honestly, in some ways, she's actually just as good or even better than the foreign woman I was actually going to bring in. So, there we go. You two get married. Everything is flipping marvellous. Now, what about the little kids I've got coming through? Because I should actually have 2 children coming through momentarily. Hellfire and Priam. Now, Hellfire did go mad, so I'm not sure about him. But Priam could be very, very good. And a big decision for Iliad the Hunter himself. Work can be tedious when one problem is solved, another one pops up. I tire of having to complete the same task over and over. Can't somebody else do it? So, 20% chance I actually become... Oh dear, that's no good at all. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Or I can rest in heaven. I might become diligent, but I'm more likely to become stressed. Which does impact my health. However, I think I can get rid of stressed by having the right focus, so... I could just say no and hope I don't become lazy. But that diligent is kind of tempting. Actually, just check I'm not diligent already, because sometimes you are already the actual trait. I'm not. In fact, I've not got a single virtue. Go for it! Balls! Literally the worst possible scenario. And also... Whoever you are, apparently I was educating you. Right, well that's great. Right, so you've just become stressed, which is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, in fact. And you didn't even pick up diligent. So, let's see if we can sort that out. Because I'm pretty sure some of the happier focuses can actually deal with that. So, I'm going to do a bit of carousing. That strikes me as a good idea. That gets me diplomacy +3, which isn't exactly spectacular. But I think I can get rid of stress that way. Or I could just try and offset the stress by going over to family. In fact, actually, you know what? That's probably not a terrible idea. I'm 33. My wife is 33. What's my wife's opinion of me right now? Probably not spectacular because I was actually unfaithful and also I don't have an eye. But it's still positive overall because we are still in love despite everything, which is very, very sweet indeed. Ah, I can't change this for a couple of months anyway. Fine. So, stay on hunting for the time being, because I've got literally no choice. That's a shame. So, I got the stress, I didn't even get the diligence. That is... that's annoying. Still, I guess that happens on occasion. And there's that girl who I apparently raised. I didn't do a spectacularly good job. In fact, I actually did a pretty bad job. She's depressed, lazy, shy, cynical, and she has a weak claim on Aragon. Right, you can just go, actually. Bye. And on technology front, this is intriguing. Siege equipment. I could do with faster sieges. Those are actually, yeah, a little bit on the slow side. Yeah, go on then. Take that up. And also, something else has just showed up. So, Afrella de Glamorgan, a child whom I'm about to just kick out of my territory. So as I understand this is one of those intervention situations. So I could potentially choose to step in and try and give her a little bit of guidance. It will require hard work and may not always be appreciated. I can make self-sacrifice for Afrella. So I can now basically risk something negative for me in order to potentially improve her. So I could make her ambitious, which is powerful if potentially risky, but then we become rivals automatically. Or I can, oh blimey, give myself out of patience for 5 years. -2. No, that's not worth it. I mean, if she was spectacular, absolutely flipping spectacular, it might be worth it. But as an indolent, paranoid person who's not even of my dynasty, she's going to learn on her own. But for the right person, I might be willing to intervene, yes. Oh, but important person number 1 has come of age. Priam, I think, just hit 16. Alright, Priam, blow me away. Come on! Ooh! Priam! Alright, a light-foot leader. Brilliant strategist. He's ambitious, he's proud, and he's diligent. Alright. That could be a decent leader right there. In future, we might need a military leader. And you could be just the man for that. You know what? Screw it. Let's get you married right now to someone good. Ah, yes. Paula, who refused to marry Connor. You could come and marry this guy instead. So, over you come. You are very, very good indeed. And actually, your abilities kind of complement his nicely. Because you've got the stewardship to offset his not spectacular stewardship. And diplomacy to offset that as well. Yeah. Get over here. You two are going to get yourself married right now. So, oh blimey, we have got one hell of a decision to make. And yeah, these two have decided to get married. Marvellous. So you two get on with that. And yes, indeed, let's just go over to family focus just for a little bit. Just to see if we can just get out 1 or 2 children more before me and my wife get a bit too old for that. Oh, a moment of truth. Hellfire has also hit 16. He was the other kid I really had my eye on. He has become still decent. Still decent. Skilled tactician. Patient. Honest. Brave. Really unfortunate he's a lunatic. Except weirdly that doesn't even seem to have that much of a negative impact on him. His stats are fine. He might in theory become a commander in time. Not exactly spectacular. Ah, but here's something interesting for the future. There is potentially, yeah, a girl in Orkney who will be coming onto the marriage market in a couple of years who is apparently quite the genius. I would say we probably want to try and lock her down pretty quickly. So Hellfire will go on to marry Karen. Yeah, abso-flipping-lutely. Get that sorted out. We'll see what they can produce together. And yeah, I just made a bit of a mistake, sadly. Still, I am kind of glad that potentially there is now a very real chance that the granddaughter of Maradud might one day be queen. I hope now we all consider that the harsh words that King John the Expansive had for Maradud have now been repaid. And also, rather amazingly, Connor of Glamorgan has decided to vote for Hellfire to actually be the next ruler. But Connor, it's okay. Vote for yourself. Please, just vote for yourself. You deserve it. It's cool. So, the question must now be asked. We have got ourselves Priam, who has come of age 7, 20, 7, 12, and 10. Good combination. Absolutely excellent combination. Hellfire, meanwhile, is coming with 10, 17, 5, 7, and 5. Definitely not as good, but still solid. Alright, we've got good young kids coming through. He could be, in future, a good marshal or a good commander. Alright, maybe just commander, given the whole lunatic thing. But it never hurts to have a good, strong, powerful martial lunatic on the front line. Always space for more of them. Other than that, we've got, yeah, Sulphur turned out to be okay. If not great, but Connor. Connor, my good man. Alright, fine, I wouldn't mind the marshal being a little bit higher, but 13 is a starting point. Not bad at all. 10 in diplomacy. Good. 20 in stewardship. Big thumbs up. That's got to be worth a bit of, yeah, extra size of domain, more taxation, all of that good stuff. Intrigue of 14 will be good for making sure he doesn't die. And learning of 10. I would say Connor moves over. Congratulations. Connor is now actually getting himself voted in across the board. Now the question is, will Connor actually switch his vote to himself, or is he not allowed to? Are you simply not allowed to vote for yourself? And also, bloody hell, more random children. Stop randomly intervening in children that I'm going to kick out as soon as they become 16. But of course, there are my own children we need to keep an eye on as well. Achilles is shaping up alright. Bear in mind, he's still just a child, really. Andromache could be of interest. Helen's probably looking the weakest of all of them so far. And Prince Hector, still far too young to tell. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say, let's call it a part there, because we have got ourselves a brand new candidate. Tanist Connor of Cornwall. And I feel like other people are going to vote for him. Other people are most definitely going to vote for him. In just a handful of... Oh, I was going to say in just a handful of years, we might just go and take that little bit of territory. But maybe we won't. Because apparently that guy works for France now. Oh, wait, no, he doesn't. It just happens to be that Anjou is an extremely similar colour. I think he's gone and just set up a title. Yeah, we can still go and claim that. A few years away, though, August of 1146, we can go and claim that. At this point, he is pretty much out of troops. 3,600, we can very, very easily handle that. That will further expand our empire in Brittany. And then we need to start figuring out who we're actually going to give land to, where. I would suggest potentially we want to give away Wales first. Because bear in mind, yeah, it's kind of annoying to have troops pop up over here that then need to be marched through England. I'd rather potentially give away Wales to nice loyal members of the dynasty. I feel like Priam could potentially be given part of South Wales and maybe another family member. Maybe even Drew. Maybe Drew, my spy master, could be given that bit of territory. And then my steward, my marshal, and my spy master could all potentially have their own little bit of land. That'd probably be nice at keeping them in line. Yeah, keep them nice and loyal and happy. That could work out very, very well indeed. The days of us just inviting people from abroad to come and manage our empire are gone, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are training good quality new people in our dynasty that are getting landed titles, that are sitting on our council. Yeah, we are starting to mature as an empire. We have got 8,000 troops ready to go. We're not quite ready to go, but you know, coming up on being ready to go. We did lose a few of them in the recent wars, but we're starting to look like we're in good shape. We are a major player. We have got allies, albeit allies who are currently slightly suffering from a plague situation, but still, he's in good shape, all things considered. He is in decent shape. 6,000 troops from Denmark, 8,000 from me. If England starts being stupid with me now, we are ready to give them a fight. And speaking of which, England won that war to actually get Queen Mirren of Scotland set up. And naturally, Queen Mirren is in fact the wife of Cedric of Wessex. And as a result of that, Wessex is the royal house of England. There is now a locked-in non-aggression pact for quite a few years between England and Scotland. So England has just very effectively gone and neutralised Scotland, which is a shame. I had eyes on them as allies. Me, Scotland and Denmark together could have done some damage. But England is still in an alliance with France. I think we need to wait for the King of France to die before we make any moves there. But when the King of France does die, we will need to keep a very close eye on what we do next. I do not want to mess with him. I do not want to mess with him at all. Speaking of which, by the way, France has also just expanded into even more of Spain. France is just eating Spain. They are getting scary powerful. Very scary powerful indeed. Perfect scenario. France and the Holy Roman Empire could end up at war. Now that I could do with. But our little empire is starting to grow. At this point, if you zoom right out, we're not nothing anymore. Alright, we may be a little bit all over the shop, but we are not insignificant. We have got bigger armies than many of our larger neighbours. Things are starting to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Join me next time, as I suspect the situation with England is going to slowly get more and more hostile. At this point, I am effectively treating them as an enemy in waiting. We shall see if that escalates very, very soon indeed. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Crusader Kings 2. Thank you very much, and goodbye. No, okay, that would have been good if I'd actually hit the ball. And swing! Yes, yes, yes! That is the swing! That is the swing! Come on! Go for you! Oh, yes! Oh, 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 oh! I'll get you next time, golf.